Recently, I was betrayed by someone who is very, very close to me. It was very painful because I never expected that. You know, there are some people you put certain expectations on them, but they don't have it in them. So I take responsibility for that, because if you expect someone not to do something and the person does it, it is not the person's fault. You raise that person to a certain expectation or to a certain standard that the person cannot meet. So after that disappointment, the betrayal, I made up my mind, well, then I don't think I can connect with this person anymore. The best decision is to just let that person go. So I woke up one morning and decided to spend time with God, and I was discussing it with the Holy Spirit. And I said, Holy Spirit, this is so hard, this is so painful. So I believe that to me, it's better for this person to go. And the Holy Spirit spoke to my heart and said, don't let this person go. I want the person in your life. Although the person has disappointed you and betrayed you, I want you to continue to serve this person. I want you to be of help to this person. I want you to treat the person kindly. I want you to continue to give. Although the person also has some form of entitlement mentality, I want you to continue to give. And you see, if you're a child of God, you obey the sayings of the Master. You obey the promptings of the Holy Spirit. And I said, well, I'm going to do it for you. As for me, according to my flesh, I would not like to do this, but I'm going to do it for you. So when I closed from work and on my way home, I was driving, the enemy came after my mind strongly, started bombarding me with thoughts and said, you know, it's hard to serve Jesus. It's difficult to serve Jesus. It's painful to serve Jesus. I mean, why must you do this? You can leave this person alone and live your life, but you want to obey your master. And I was just thinking about it. I said, the enemy is such a thief and a liar. And then the Holy Spirit referred me to Matthew chapter 11, verse 30, where Jesus said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Which means that you will carry some yoke. There will be some yoke, but that yoke is easy. There will be some burden. You have to carry some burden, but that burden is light. So Jesus didn't say that you will not carry any burden. If he entreats you to love your enemies, to overcome evil with good, according to Romans chapter 12, verse 21, then definitely you will carry some burden. You will carry some yoke when you want to follow the saying of the Master, when you want to do his will. So I'm here to encourage you that don't let the enemy deceive you that, well, it is painful, it is hard to serve Jesus, it is hard to serve the Lord. It is better to serve him than to serve the enemy. For the enemy to abuse you, for the enemy to destroy you, because whatever that you are going through, whatever that God has asked you to do, it is for your own good. You may not see the results now, you may not see the outcome now, but eventually you will know that something has happened in your spirit. And you see, I was just meditating on Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. And it said that no discipline is enjoyable. When you read the NLT version, when you read Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11, it says no discipline, no training, okay, is enjoyable. It is painful, but it will produce right living. That thing that my master asked me to do, it's hard, but it is working. It is doing something in my heart. It is helping me to overcome evil with good. And I believe that something good is going to come out of it, because according to Romans chapter 8, all things will work together for our good. So it is better to carry the burden and the yoke of the master than to be, than for the enemy to be a victim of the enemy. Because God is not just bringing that discipline your way for discipline's sake, but is going to produce righteousness in you, right living. You are going to live above circumstances. You will grow, you will mature. You will be like a fortified city. So my dear, I want you to know that whatever that you are going through today, the master knows you and he sees you, and it will not be in vain. No discipline is enjoyable, according to Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. So it will not be enjoyable for you to even be in a marriage where you are taken advantage of, where you are not appreciated, where maybe your husband or your wife is not doing what he or she is supposed to do, whatever that it is. Maybe in your workplace, in your family, you are the only one who is always serving. They are taking advantage of you, and sometimes you feel like a fool. But I want you to know that you are not a fool. If you obey the master, sometimes it looks like people are taking advantage of you, but they are not taking advantage of you. something is happening in the realm of the spirit. In the physical, you're not seeing anything, but in the realm of the spirit, you are growing, you are maturing, okay, you are increasing in authority. So I'm here to encourage you. The same Hebrews chapter 12, it tells us that, therefore, my dear, this verse is so powerful. Therefore, since we have this great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that easily entangles us or ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. I want you to run with endurance with the race that is set before you. And look at what it said. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame. That is why now he is sitting at the throne of God. So for the joy set before you, for the joy seeing that in eternity you'll be rewarded, and even in this earth realm you'll also be rewarded, knowing that you are pleasing your master, my dear, you are on the right path. And I told the enemy, when the devil starts speaking to you, you have to speak to him back. You have to speak back to him. And I said, I choose this heart. I choose this yoke. I choose this burden. Jesus' yoke is easy and his burden is light. I will rather carry the yoke and the burden of the master than to be a victim of your manipulation, because you are a thief. And I said, devil, get thee behind me. I will choose this heart. So my dear, following the Lord, doing his will, sometimes it's hard, because giving people who don't even deserve, loving them and overcoming evil with good, dying to self is not easy. But I want you to know that it is not enjoyable. But remember that it will produce the fruit of righteousness in you, the right living. You become like a fortified city. So his yoke is easy and his burden is light. It is sometimes painful, but it is better than to be a victim of the thief, because it is difficult to serve the devil. I would rather serve Jesus than serve the thief.